Yeah, hello guys, welcome to today's tutorial. And in today's tutorial, we are going to use the Gesmis school app to take records of mock or terminal exam or midterm exam for our founders to check their strength in performance before they go and sit for the BEC. So let's just roll into it. So first of all, when you launch your GES school app, then you locate or you navigate to the school manager here as you are seeing it here. You just click on the sign, the plus sign there. Then you navigate down here to mocks slash exam slash end of term. Okay, but before we will come here, please let's go to the settings. Okay, let's do some small settings. Let me show you something there. Good. So when you come here, here is all the settings for the GES Main School app. Now, we are going to see or just check the grading system, whether the grading system is the standard one that we use for WAEC BEC. So if you see on the grading system here, from 80 and above to 100 is grade 1, which is the highest, straight to the down from 0 to 9, which gives you what? 9. Okay, so I think this particular grading system is the standard one for grading BEC candidates results. So without changing anything here, let's go back to the system, how we can use this particular GES Miss school app system to see the performance of our learners. All right, so now let's navigate to the mocks stroke, the exams stroke, the end of term. So let's click on it. As we click on it, the first thing we have to do is to generate our score sheet for the class or for font 3 or the font 3 that we are going to input their scores, their various scores to do the analysis on. Okay, so let's click on score sheets. Then when we come here, we are going to give a number to the score sheets that we are going to generate. So let's say, for instance, 15. Okay, so it means that you can start from 1 and above. Okay, depending on the number of mocks you've written or the number of exams you've written or end of term exams that you want to grade your students on to see whether they can be ready for the BEC sitting. Okay, so I have given 15 to my score sheet. Okay, it's very important that you give the 15 there, and that's you'll see the importance as we move forward. So now let's come and select the class that we are going to generate the score sheet on. So we'll generate it on basic 9. Okay, all right, then we just click on what, generate score sheet. All right, so they said click OK and wait for the score sheet. So we click OK. Now we have a message saying that score sheet successfully generated. So we click on OK. Now here you will see the location in which your score sheet is being saved in. Okay, so it means that local Dixie, the Murphy soft folder. Inside the Microsoft folder, you see what, mock exam folder, and inside the mock exam folder, you are going to see the score sheet. Okay, so you can click here to go back and select a different class that you want to input their scores and check for their strength. But we are going straight to the folder, which is the Murphy soft folder. Okay, so by using the down link, so let's click on it to open our drive C. Okay, good. So it has opened our drive C for us, which is the Murphy. So if you see the path, this is the path. So you will see that we have the path here. Okay, we have the path here, local Dixie. Okay, then we come to the Murphy soft, then the exam folder. Okay, so inside the exam folder, this is what we are seeing our score sheet. So you just double click on it to open. So you see the basic 9 folder, which contains all the subjects that we have registered the children or the students in. Okay, so we have 9 subjects that the candidates are going to be tested. Okay, all right, so let's just open one of the file, the Excel file, to see what is in it. So let's open career technology. Good. So as we open career technology, the name of the school appears here. Then it gives us other information about this particular sheet or file. Okay, so he said the class here is what? Basic 9 mock number 15. Okay, so we have given the number 15, so that means we have done some other mocks up to the 15th. Okay, all right, so the year is also indicated here for us. Then the subject itself, then the class size, which indicates the 29 students in the class, then the subject ID. Okay, it gives this, it generated the subject ID. So in this basic 9, we have all the 26 learners in this particular sheet. So here we are just going to put in their scores. Okay, we are just going to put in their scores. So let me just put in some random scores inside here. Let's see. So these are random scores. We save our sheets file. I think we are done populating our files or the subjects. We are done populating it. So what we have to do next is just close this dialog box. Okay, we close it. Then now we will come here. All right, let's navigate through mocks, through exams, through end of term. Let's now click on upload score sheet, because we have downloaded the score sheet and we have filled the score sheet. Now let's upload our score sheet. Okay, good. So when you come here, when you click on upload score sheet, please make sure that you read the instructions. Okay, so here it says welcome to score sheet upload. It allows you to upload or input the score sheets. All right, so here simply means that you marked the exam over 100. Okay, so if it is, let's say, midterm exam or end of term exam that you marked over 50, then you have to indicate it as such. But please note it here. There's a enter 100 if the exam was marked out of 100 marks. Okay, or enter 20 if it was marked out of 20. So make sure you read everything here so that you'll be familiar with the system. Okay, now the next step is to select the type of exam that we just filled Excel sheet form. So here you have the options to choose whether it is mock, midterm exam, mid-semester exam, end of term exam, any other options here that you have done, even if it is a class test. Okay, you choose it. So we are choosing BEC mock. Okay, so we'll click on BEC mock. Then we will now navigate to the test step where we have to upload our files. Okay, where we have to upload our files. So we click on choose file. So the system itself will open this dialog box for you. Then you navigate to where the files are. Remember that the files are in our local drive. Okay, our local drive C. Good. Then we navigate to the folder name Murphy. If you remember, let me just widen it a little. Then also let me change the option here to list, so that when you are navigating you can locate your folder very quickly. So as I navigated to the Murphy soft folder, I'll have to double click again and select score sheet again to basic 9, again to all the subjects Excel files. So here you have to copy all. You can use the Control A to select all, or you can use your mouse cursor to click and hold and highlight all of them. Okay, so when you select all of them, then please make sure that you click on open just to load all of them here. So we have 9 files in the folder there. And as I hover on the 9 files, you could see that just at my right hand side of the cursor, all the subjects have been listed there. So next, what we have to do is just to upload it. Okay, so let's click on upload. So there's a click OK, which is this, and wait while we upload. So you just click on OK and you wait. Good. So the feedback on score sheet upload, it means that all the 9 subjects went through successfully. That is why it has been checked. Okay, so in a case that you are uploading it and you see that there is a red cross sign here, it means that subject file has a problem. It is either the score is greater than 100, okay, or maybe the name has been tampered with, or any of the predetermined or predefined writings on the cell Excel file, you have touched it or you have done something to it. That is only when it will give you a cross or a wrong input, or it will not register that particular subject or score sheet in the system. So now that we are able to do all this, that means our upload was successful. Let's click on go back. Good. As we now come back, now let's now do a few things here. First of all, let's go and print our broadsheet. Okay, let's print our broadsheet to see what will appear for us. So let's click on broadsheet. Now here, you are now going to enter the year. Remember, the year on the file was 2026. Okay, then the exam number we input there was 15. You have to make sure that you remember all those. Then the class on which we generated the score sheet was basic 9. Okay, and make sure that show picture, you come and select here and you say no, because we don't add any picture to the system. Okay, then here you come and select the type of exam that we selected when we were uploading our score sheet. So we picked Bece mock. So you click on Bece mock, then now you click on generate broadsheet. So they said please click OK and wait. So we click OK and we wait. Good. So the system have generated our broadsheet for us, and the broadsheet is strictly going to be let's say saved in drive C Murphy soft folder, exam mocks mocks exam folder, then the score sheet basic 9 folder. You see the copy path or the saving path. So it means that still when we click on what save here, it is going to save this broadsheet in the score sheet that we have downloaded earlier. So let's click on it and save it there. Good. So we have saved it there. Now what we will do is let's now come here and click on our new folder. Let's navigate to our drive C. Good. Now let's locate our Murphy soft folder. There it is. Then our mock exam, let's open it. Then we now see our broadsheet here. Okay, we now see our broadsheet here, and that one, so we can open it. Now as we open it, now let's open the general broadsheet itself. Good. So here is our broadsheet, and this is the final product that we are going to use to do our analysis. Okay, good. So now when you come here, the name of the school appears, then it gives you the heading or the title as results of Bece mock examination as released by the academic committee. Okay, so the class will be stated basic 9 year 2026. So the exam number, so the number of exam we have conducted so far and we have inputted into the system is 15. Then students, the number of students or the class size, which is 26 of them. Now when we come here, this is where we have our analysis itself. So the school pass rate is 100%. The school pass rate is 100%. It means that, in fact, the learners have done well. The learners have done well, very, very well. That is 100% is school pass rate. So as at the day that the broadsheet is generated, here it is. Okay, here it is. Then the best aggregate, so we have 6. So the best aggregate, we have 6. Then the worst aggregate is what? 25. 25 will be the best aggregate for other schools. And the average aggregate is what? 16. Okay, it means that somebody in the class had 16, we serve as what? The mean average for the scores, the total scores for the 26 students. Okay, now you can dive in a little to check maybe specific learners that you want to see them pass. Okay, so when we come here, it gives you the score. So now let's look at the subject itself, and we'll see the score here as well. So you will see that under maths we have the raw score itself and the grade it carries. Okay, so social, it has the raw score and the grade it carries. So we have the first 4 elective, or sorry, core subjects: math, social studies, English language, and science, plus any best 2 of these particular subjects here. The rest of them will give us what? The aggregate. Okay, the aggregate. So if you see here, they are stating here that we have, let me expand it small so that you see what I'm talking about. Okay, here it's good. So when you come here, we have the best 4. So you see 4 core subjects plus 2 best subjects. Okay, so that will give you the aggregates. Okay, then this is the status. Okay, so the status tells you whether the person have passed or failed, and in this case it's 100%. All of them have passed with flying colors. Okay, now let's come down here and let's do further analysis to this system. So students with grades between 1 and 3, so under maths they are 19. Okay, so under science they are what? That is social studies rather. Under social studies we have 20 of them. Then under English language we have 15 of them. Then under social studies we have 15 as well. Then the rest, you understand what I mean. Now students with grade from 1 to 6. Okay, from 1 to 6, so they added all of them up here for you to see them. So this gives you a further breakdown of how the learners got their grade in brackets. Okay, in range. So range, the first range is what? 1 to 3, from grade 1 to 3. Okay, that's the best range so far. Okay, then from range 1 to 6 again. So that is how it goes up to the last one. Okay, so let's look at subject average in percentages. Okay, so here you will get to know how the learners did well in the individual subject, how they pass well in the individual subject, which gives you the percentage. Okay, so it means that in maths the percentage pass in average, okay, there's a percentage pass in average is 71, followed by social studies. Okay, that is what? 78. So when you look through all the best subjects that come out with the best average percentage is the tree, which is I forgot to edit this side for you, which is the Ewe. Okay, the language that the learners speaks in their first language, their L1. Okay, all right, so that is it. Now when we come here, the percentage pass in each subject, the percentage pass in each subject. So be mindful that The second to last here is the subject average in percentage. That is what I explained earlier on. Okay, but here the subject percentage what pass. So each subject, the percentage pass is what we are seeing down here. So we have 92 here, which gives us social studies, and 96 here, which gives us what creative, yeah, creative art and design gave us the highest pass, okay, the highest pass, followed by social studies, okay, followed by social studies. So in fact the learners have done well, the least pass is what, career tech, which gives us what, a 50 percentage pass. Okay, all right, so colleagues, this is how we use the GES Miss School app the smart way to generate the broadsheet for your learners who are in Form 3. In fact, you can do it for any other class. Okay, you can do it for any other class as well. All right, so thank you very much. Stay tuned for other tutorials. Bye.